I drank alcohol during the quarantine.
Okay. Congrats.
And making pasta and eating bread. I totally went off the rails.
We have to talk about Gwyneth Paltrow because she's saying some eye-roll worthy stuff again. When we talk about Gwyneth, we call ourselves the Gooper Scoopers.
Here come the Gooper Scoopers, they are gonna find you. There's always stupid stuff on Goop.
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow, here we go again. Another opportunity. Get your eye rolls out, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, jeez.
To roll our eyes at the most unrelatable human being. Who
Fun.
this time wants us to know she did something totally relatable and somehow still seems completely unrelatable. I totally went off the rails, Gwyneth Paltrow admits. Drinking 7 nights a week during quarantine. Okay, now, if you said that, I think the relatable part of that, and I can get to the context of all this in a minute, but sure, something sounds vaguely relatable in there, right? Like a lot of people have probably picked up a cocktail or two over the last 16 to 18 months.
More than they normally do.
More than they normally do or
Sure.
did because we were all just hanging out. And also, you know, people used to go to bars and drink. Can't really do that anymore. So drinking more at home, totally,
Sure.
probably very relatable. Although it does seem a little severe, like the way she phrases this, like, again, she just can't come across like, oh my God, I drank a few too many cocktails. Oh, I know, I did too, totally. I mean, I didn't, because that would be actual breaking news, and we don't want to do that.
We don't want to break that news.
She said, I drank alcohol during the quarantine.
Okay. Congrats.
I love whiskey. Oh, wait, actually, I'll get to the whiskey in a moment. But before that, she says, I was drinking 7 nights a week and making pasta and eating bread. I totally went off the rails. I mean,
Oh my
who
gosh.
drinks multiple drinks 7 nights a week? Like, that's not healthy. Okay. Again, just, it makes your eyes explode because it's Gwyneth Paltrow saying it. If it was your mom and she was like, oh, I've been eating a little too much bread and I probably had an extra gimlet for dinner and I should probably slow that down. You'd be like, totally, right?
Right. And also at the same time, can we stop demonizing bread
Oh, and pasta.
and pasta?
Yeah.
Can we stop that?
No, because you're not hip or trendy if you eat pasta or bread. Don't even get me started.
But it's so yum.
But it's a bad thing for a lot of people.
Listen.
It's a danger.
Here's my issue. It's like
Bread.
yes. Like,
It's only fed us for hundreds of thousands of years. But by all means, tell me how it's dangerous.
yes. Also, let's like everything in moderation, right? So rather than demonizing the bread and the pasta and even the booze for that matter, maybe there's a way to like talk about moderation of such things.
Well, yeah, but there's also, I just think, a way to be relatable. What I think she's trying to say is I've had more cocktails and bread and pasta than I normally did the last year. Me too,
Right.
minus the cocktails.
Minus the
Like the
cocktails.
bread and pasta, all about, I make my own bread now.
Right.
I eat bread and butter on a regular basis. I didn't before. But if I went into a long treatise on sourdough is like the superior bread product, and I really delved very deeply into the practice of sourdough bread.
Okay,
That's not relatable.
That is how Gwyneth would talk.
That's how she would talk. Instead, I could just say, I bet a lot of people have had things, a lot of like, sort of yummy things that maybe they didn't used to eat a ton of over the last. So I could say, oh God, I know I'm not alone when I say I've had more carbohydrates than I used to eat.
Right.
And whatever, right? There's a way to be relatable. Anyway, she went on.
And she's not doing it.
She's not doing it. She went on and goes, I love whiskey. Now just wait. I love whiskey. And I make this fantastic drink called the Buster Paltrow, which I named after my grandfather who loved whiskey sours.
Pause. Okay, pause. Pause.
Oh, jeez.
So far, to me, it sounds like this is just a whiskey sour, but of course it's Gwyneth Paltrow, so she had to rename it.
It's a Buster Paltrow.
It's a Buster Paltrow.
But again, like you
Fine.
you probably got a friend who like makes his own hooch, And it's like, I've been calling it my anyway.
It's a Marthrini, or
Yeah.
something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But then she goes on. It's this great quinoa whiskey from this distillery in Tennessee with maple syrup and lemon juice. It's just heaven. I would have 2 of those every night of the quarantine. Quinoa? How have you not stopped me?
No.
Quinoa whiskey?
Because I just am sitting here shaking my head.
Quinoa?
Like, of course she can't just, it's got to be the quinoa whiskey,
Also,
which that's another thing. Okay.
Also, it's not whiskey because quinoa is not
Quinoa.
You can't. It's not.
Also, it's so Gwyneth. Like, she's trying to like healthify her whiskey by making it quinoa, which again, listen, guys,
It's gonna get you drunk.
All things in moderation.
Just
but quinoa
like
ain't a
potato
diet
whiskey.
food. I can't.
Just like corn whiskey.
I'm
just
done.
like rye whiskey, barley whiskey.
It also sounded like she gave that whiskey the master cleanse with the maple syrup and the lemon.
Oh yes,
right.
with a little
cayenne in there.
So again, she can't just. She does specify. It's not like I was getting blackout drunk, but I do still crave cigarettes while I'm drinking. That I only have one a week.
She said that again?
Yes.
Oh.
That's also a lie.
Oh,
The lie
jeez.
detector test has determined that was
She
a lie.
is a chain smoker.
You guys.
I mean, I don't know, but
no,
but again,
like
totally not relatable.
When you have to like show up to the conversation with that kind of, I only have one. I'm like, no, you don't, honey. No, you don't.
Like if there's a behavior, and again, I don't want to get too far into this conversation because it could be problematic. But my point is like, don't just write off people drinking a lot more during the pandemic, because I guarantee you there are people for whom this has become a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's a problem for her. I don't know what her behavior is like, but you can't just like write it off like that, because there are people for whom that might be a problem.
Right.
So just to be so glib about it seems equally,
well, and to make it,
frustrating.
to just be like, it was just really carby. Like, no, for some people it was more than carby.
Yeah. Also, carbs are not bad.
Thank you.
You're fine. Eat more.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. That's all, folks.